Today we're going to be talking about some burning questions from videos of yesteryear. You've got Q's, we've got A's.
We got A's.
We're going to be going. What are some of the videos we're going to be talking about?
We are talking about the DUI series, the Kim K butt photo, butt, and a few a la carte questions from Discord.
Little omakase.
A la carte.
Yeah.
But I need to tell you guys first that I had a crime committed onto me. A very curious crime.
A curious case of Zach Kornfeld.
Whoa, I like that.
So it's super bizarre. I just got back from my baby moon. Maggie and I went away to love on each other.
A little moon.
Oh, God.
Somebody feed me some space milk.
It's funny. The idea of a baby moon is funny. It's just an excuse to go on vacation.
Yeah.
But the idea is like, you know, this is the last time, really, that it's just the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, that's not totally true. Like, you were able to take a vacation, just you and Sarah. But it's like, hey, like, let's take a moment to really just love on each other.
Wait, really quick, Miles, what are you thinking about right now? Because your face is so, you're really thinking.
I was thinking about something completely different.
Were you thinking about the space?
Were you nodding but not listening to me at all?
I wasn't listening at all.
That's good.
I wasn't listening at all. And I was honestly, Keith's crying. I still sort of had it in my head. And I was just going, oh, like, that's crazy. Like, I wonder what type of baby would make that noise. And then I was sort of thinking about an alien baby. Doesn't matter. Continue.
I'm more
I'm just like,
alien baby.
sometimes the brain, it can't be contained. It's gone.
I kept going. Yeah.
It's gone.
When you think about an alien baby, give me more.
Guess like I was
Does
like,
it look like a human?
An alien baby does look like a human. Would he be like violent to humans? I just watched Mickey 17. Those the aliens are kind of nice.
Does it look like a worm?
Yeah.
Honestly, screw the baby moon. I gotta tell you about the crime. No, I gotta tell you about the crime.
Okay.
I came back and I left my car on the street. Someone took not my license plate, but the plastic thing that holds your license plate in.
What?
No, they didn't take that. They just unscrewed it.
What?
And took all the screws. And so my like the plastic thingy's on the ground and the license plate is unscrewed, sitting on the back of my car, precariously held on. And I got in at like 1 a.m. We're like, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
So weird. I don't, for the life of me, I don't understand.
Why?
Front license plate is there. Untouched.
You're sure it's the same numbers?
That's what I'm wondering.
You're not sure?
Is it the same? Do you need to take it into the front of the car?
Let me look.
And be like, this is the same, because maybe they did steal your license
And they
plate.
replaced it.
And they replaced it.
And they robbed somebody and you're going to be framed for a crime.
Yeah.
Or just they wanted your stickers.
Sticker's still there. I have a picture of it right here. Pictures there, or sorry.
Oh, that's
stickers
weird.
there. Yeah, so look.
So is there one screw holding it on or it's just leaning?
But I'm saying, can you compare it to the front one and make sure that it's the right
It's
number?
the same.
Same numbers?
I mean,
Okay.
that's my license plate. I know my license plate.
Yeah, brother.
That's crazy.
Good.
Okay, so here's actually what I think
I
happened.
guess I do know mine.
So actually what I think happened is
I know 3 of the letters in it.
Same. I know the beginning of mine.
Yeah.
I think they took it, did a crime,
And then came back?
put it up.
Maybe.
And then just didn't screw it back
But why
on.
not the front plate too?
Because they only needed one.
By the way, I have an alibi. If a crime went down,
You were in Hawaii.
I was
That's
up.
the perfect crime.
That's right.
You know, they
You
knew you
left.
wouldn't be back from Hawaii.
You
yet.
got on a
They're
plane
gonna
to Hawaii,
frame
took
you.
a boat back to California, did a crime.
So fucking weird, man.
That's really weird. Why would
If anyone out there like has any idea what the motive could be like, oh shit, Zach, you're part of this thing.
Did they just like copy your license plate? Like they
did
3D molded?
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
But by the way, like you don't want to have. I was thinking about this too because at first I thought someone stole my license plate.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, you don't want someone else's license plate. You're gonna get caught.
Because if they run the plates, they'll see it's not the right type of car.
Right.
Yes.
Or even if you run if I report my license plate stolen,
Yeah.
they'll find it
Yeah.
fast. And when you steal someone's car, you
Yeah.
got to get it off the street immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Because they'll be looking for a gray whatever.
Yeah, and the run the plates is the easiest. So I'm absolutely flabbergasted.
Do you think somebody unscrewed it, took it, and was like, we'll take this license plate? No, you know what?
No.
This is wrong.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? Come on.
What is this? The 50th one?
Let's just
we
go
gotta
back
stop
home.
somewhere.
And they put it
Maybe
back on.
You do have those golden bolts, right, that you had in your car?
Every Tesla comes with golden bolts.
Yeah, you would put yours on your Prius so they'd be safer.
Yeah.
Wait, so yeah, maybe
And maybe, I mean, literally the only thing I can think of too is like maybe just someone was on drugs and was like, ooh, screwdrivers are fun.
That's possible.
That's possible.
Like we've had,
Screwdrivers are fun.
And the unscrewing stuff is fun.
There's kids' toys that are just a screwdriver.
Yeah.
Do you have any unsolved mysteries from your life that come to mind?
I mean, that's a really interesting one.
I do. And then now that I'm older, I think like, maybe this is a really dangerous scenario. I was once, we had a little basketball goal on the side of my house on our driveway. Now our driveway, I lived in Tennessee, very hilly area. So my driveway it flattened out at the top, but then it was like a 30-degree ramp down to the road.
Sick.
So if I missed that basketball shot and it went the wrong way, I would have to run and then it would roll. It would roll.
So
it would
far.
roll.
No.
But one day I was playing basketball and a red minivan pulled up to turn around, which just happened all the time. We were kind of at a dead end, so people would use our driveway to turn around and go back. We actually just stopped in the driveway.
I don't like this.
No.
And
Keith.
I was just playing basketball.
I was like,
this is strange. And if I was playing basketball, it meant that my mom's car wasn't there.
Yeah.
Because she would park there and I would have to have her move it to play basketball.
This isn't a fun story.
No, and I just kept playing basketball thinking, well, they're going to leave soon. I just kept playing basketball. Just by myself and shooting hoops. And they just stayed there. And then I kept playing basketball. And they just stayed there. Kept playing basketball. And then eventually I was like, I guess I'm going to go inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, weird.
And I went inside. And then at some point the car left. But I was home alone.
Ooh, I don't like that one bit.
How old are you?
I was probably middle school. 11 or 12.
Oh, it's Ted Bundy.
But I lived in Carthage, Tennessee. Tiny, tiny town.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you never found out?
No.
I was sort of looking for a fun unsolved mystery.
No, that's fun, Keith.
But I don't know. But at the time,
Santa.
I was just like, somebody must have parked there, and they were trying to figure out directions to get out of Carthage. Because the road that I lived on used to be a road that traveled through somewhere else, and eventually they built an overpass, so it killed that road. So old maps said you could take my road to somewhere, and you could not do that anymore.
Okay.
So I assumed they were just like, fuck, where am I?
Mystery solved.
I'm like, I guess I'll just bark and stare at this kid poorly playing basketball by himself.
Can I tell you the weirdest one from my childhood? Is that I woke up one day and there was a model car the size of a shoebox. And it was one of those old-fashioned 1940s cars that have the over the wheel. It was a turquoise car. I don't know, just old mobile type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I go into my dad's room and I go, "Thank you so much for the toy." And my dad's like, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking about." And I'm like, "The car that you got me. It's on my shelf or on my dresser." And he just denied it. And was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And I was a kid, so I just was like, "That's weird." And I went on and I just had it. It wasn't even a toy. It was just
a collectible model car.
Sort of, but it wasn't even that nice. It just was that. And then months later, one day I woke up.
No.
And it was gone.
Have you asked your sister and mom about it?
No one claimed it.
What?
No one knew.
That is much more confusing.
Fucking spooky.
Now I was a kid. I'm an unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
This was second grade, first grade.
Yeah.
So
And it was gone.
but this is I remember it.
That's
Did
spooky.
you have kids who came over and
No.
played at your house? No.
I mean, yes, but I went to sleep and then I woke up and it was there.
So strange.
That's so spooky.
Maybe it was the tooth fairy.
That tooth fairy is up to shit.
How far would you let someone get into your house if they just said they were supposed to be there? If they're like,
Not very
I'm supposed
far.
to fix your
Not
wife
very
said.
far.
Your wife said
They're
I
not
was-
getting in the door.
Really?
Yeah,
let
I
'em
mean,
in.
Not until I call Maggie.
I guess I'd be like, let me call. If they seem weird.
there's no way Becky set up a house appointment.
It would probably be you.
That
Yeah,
it-
right.
all strangers coming to the house run through me.
Yeah, you're the stranger.
There are
gate.
times where I tell Becky someone's coming, but typically it's their second visit. I try
I let
not to
people
have
First
into
a-
visit, you try to be there.
I let
Yeah.
people into the backyard.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Backyard, go nuts, dog.
Yeah,
Go
I'll do
nuts.
that. There are
running around out
there's
there.
some bug spray people. People come once every other month to just spray the yard for
Probably
bugs.
kill the spiders.
Kill those spideys.
But it's kill the grasshoppers because the spiders eat the grasshoppers. So you kill the food source, they won't have the spiders.
No kidding.
Yeah, we had
Oh.
black widows in our backyard
No.
a few years ago, which there apparently there's
What?
there's
There's
also
some
brown
alive.
widows which look very very similar, but this one I killed, it was black widow, and I knew it immediately because I used to kill them in Tennessee all the time.
Yeah.
And they're scary big fucking
They
spiders,
are.
and they eat grasshoppers. So I got rid of the grasshoppers and the crickets
scary,
to make sure that they went away, and they've been gone ever since. But I still check all their spots that they are, because ain't no fucking black widows living in my house anymore. And I got a kid.
Did you know, though, that the last black widow death was in like 1970 or something?
Really?
So we don't even have to worry about it.
Wait, what do you mean?
I love that you have this fact right
Yeah,
there.
because I got so anxious once about. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to go to the ER.
Doesn't.
Oh yeah, you're dying from it.
Is it the one that like rots your flesh?
No, that's the brown recluse.
That's brown recluse.
Ugh.
My dad got bit by a brown recluse on his knee.
It's gnarly. You gotta cut out a chunk of your leg.
Because it was on the knee and it was like near bone, it actually was good. Because if it was here, it would
it eats the flesh.
burn the flesh away. But it was here and his knee got all fucked up and like whatever. And then it like grew back. He still has a scar on his name.
I had a freshman year of college.
Yeah.
I was at one of these like activities for the floor, and we were there, and we were bowling, and a guy said, "Hey, check out this gnarly spider bite I got."
By the way, if you are not okay with spiders, maybe just keep skipping forward. We're still talking about it. This is not going to help.
Check out. Oh no, he didn't even check it out. He was wearing shorts, and I saw this big like welt on his leg. I was like, "Whoa, Matt, what's that?" He's like, "Oh, I got bit by a spider the other day." I'm like, "Yo, that's not a normal spider bite."
No.
I'm from the South. We had spiders.
Yes.
We have to go to the doctor now.
Yeah,
And he went, and he had been bitten by a baby brown recluse.
No, which is more venom, right?
No, it's actually less.
Oh,
or whatever it was, the doctor was like, "Oh, good thing it wasn't an adult," or whatever it was. And because it was a baby, it was slower. So he's like, "Yeah, I got bit a couple of days ago." I was like, "A couple of days ago? You should not have a quarter-sized, like brownie black piece of flesh on your leg."
God.
And they had to cut it out.
They cut it out?
They had to cut it out of his leg.
Oh my
saved
God.
his life. Because he was not he didn't think it was a big deal.
Yeah.
You
That's
did save his life.
Crazy.
Or at least saved more of his leg.
leg.
Yeah.
He probably would have at some point been like, "Okay, this is not good."
The problem with brown recluses is they look like house spiders.
Yeah.
So they're really hard to
They have
detect.
a violin on their back.
You guys
No,
know
that's
a
Black
lot about
Widows.
spiders.
No, Black Widows have an hourglass.
People's
that's what I'm
spider
thinking, yeah.
fears. This is.
Oh, this is the South, baby. It's all spiders.
But
and
if you
snakes.
aren't hanging out in piles of wood, you're
Yeah.
probably not going to run into these guys.
And also in the winter, you got to watch out for piles of wood because the snakes go in there to sleep. Always a big concern.
Really?
Yes. When you're climbing in the woods and it's like, oh, that's a stack of wood that dad put, the stack of firewood. It's like there's probably snakes in the inside of it. So be careful in the winter.
Oh my gosh. Snakes scare me so bad.
Yeah, they're not so scary.
There's not a lot of bad snakes in the South, though.
Copperheads, they'll fuck you
Oh,
right
we didn't
up.
have any where I was.
Yeah, North Carolina, we got some copperheads,
Yeah.
baby. Woo! You got to watch out for copperheads. Me and my dad one time, my dad and my brother, we were out
Tell
there.
them about it.
Me, my daddy, and my brother, we went out in the woods and we were out and I said, "Daddy, I'm worried about copperheads." And he said, "Miles, don't be worried. Don't be scared." I said, "Let's just sit right here." My dad was always about trying to get us to be used to nature. And so we were out there in the middle of the woods and he goes, "Let's just sit down and just enjoy this quiet nature." Right? So we sat down cross-legged. We're all sitting there. And I go, "Daddy, what about copperheads?" He says, "Don't worry about it, son. There's not going to be any copperheads." We all sit there cross-legged and we're just kind of enjoying it was fall, right? It's moving. And then I look down and I go, "That's a copperhead." And about 2 feet from me was a baby copperhead. And those are the ones you really have to worry about because if they bite you, they can't control their venom. So they'll unload all their venom so they can kill you. Yeah. And so my dad goes, "Everyone get up really slowly." And we all had to get up and move. And then it was like, my dad was like, "Look at this beautiful snake." We were always catching snakes on the way to school. My dad would throw them into a pillow sack and then we'd bring them to school and he'd show the kids.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We just had garden snakes in my town.
They like black snakes.
Yeah. Little ones.
Yeah, I remember once in cross country, this kid, hi yell him shout out, grabbed a snake and put it in his shirt and ran with it. And then
do
he
that.
was like, yeah.
A lot of snakes are not going to be violent.
Yeah,
I
like
just
little
didn't-
green snakes
yeah.
are so cute.
And also, if you grab a snake by most snakes are not trying to kill you.
Yeah.
They're just-
Yeah.
Most things aren't.
aren't trying to kill you. Yeah.
I just think it's freaky that they don't have legs, but they can move.
It's impressive. Yeah. Yeah. How do they do it?
I don't
and
know.
if they tell you to eat a fruit, you better think twice.
Yeah.
Well, that's
especially
like
an apple.
snakes. It's difficult for snakes to, scientists I remember were trying to study how snakes move.
Yeah,
because
'cause
it's
it doesn't
very
make any
unnatural,
sense. Yeah.
and you can't really recreate. It's difficult to recreate how snakes move
yeah, I don't
good
know
at
how
it,
it
though.
works.
because of the muscle.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we got to get into the main segment.
Let's go.
Let's talk about first the DUI series. So,
Okay.
Let's talk about Zach's DUI.
DUI.
This was a video series we made where we had a close course. We drove under the influence first of alcohol, then of weed. Then we did a
State-of-play?
sleep deprived one, and then we also did texting while driving.
It's interesting because because for both the DUI series and the Kim Kardashian photo shoot, which we'll talk about next, you guys start the video by drinking a bunch.
Yeah.
Getting wild.
Which maybe is the secret to success.
Holy shit. A
Guys,
drinking
unlocked.
video
Unlocked.
would be so fun. Drink the menu. It's all cocktails.
Oh,
I've definitely, so I want to do that actually with like chain restaurants.
Yeah.
Because places like Chili's
Signature
have
cocktail.
stupid cocktails.
It'd be so fun.
I know, but you have to film them there. And I don't know how we would do that because you have to film it there. Unless we got their recipe book, got a talented bartender, but you want to drink it there.
You know where you
It's
could
not the
go? You know where you
same.
could go?
Where?
New Orleans. Drink on the street. You can get it to go.
That's true. We can get it to go if there's a Chili's on Beale Street or on the right street.
You can drink anywhere.
Oh, right. You can do anywhere.
You
I
can
was
drink
thinking
anywhere in
Memphis.
New Orleans.
You can drink
Louisiana,
in the taxis.
you can have drinks in the vehicle as long as there's one less than the driver.
Yeah, the N-1 thing.
Or
That's
people in the car, you can have 3 beers open.
3 open drinks. Yeah, it's like that in Missouri too.
Yeah.
You're right. I should go do these in Louisiana.
Not a bad idea. Get them on the go.
Because I have had this idea. I think it's a great format.
it's really fun.
We relocate the company to Louisiana for 1 month.
That would be
Just shoot
fun.
them all out.
Shoot all of them. Honestly, but it would be really fun. You should do them all on the same trip. So it's each day. Is
Holy
And you
shit.
can make a documentary about the whole trip that goes on Second Try App. This is called Our Drunken Week.
The Lost Weekend.
The Lost
Die.
Weekend. Never die.
Shopping, planning, and cooking food really can be simple and stress-free. Imagine having your weekly shopping cart filled for you and your meals for the week decided on. Taking all that work off my plate is why I love Hungry Root. Hungry Root takes the stress out of mealtime by filling your cart with personalized picks and planning your week of meals. 2 things I do every single week. 1, we get to dinner time and we go, what do you want to eat? I don't know, what do you want to eat? Oh, maybe do that. And then it's like 8:30 and then it's too late to cook. This takes that decision fatigue out of it. You know, you're making your decisions at the top of the week. We'll also buy food where we don't really have a plan of what to make and then it goes bad in my fridge. Hungry Root helps you save by reducing food waste. You're avoiding those impulse grocery buys and you're skipping last-minute restaurant takeout. Whether you're gluten-free, dairy-free, high-protein, focused on gut health, or anything else, maybe like me, you're a couple of them. Just take a quick quiz and their smart card technology recommends groceries, recipes, and supplements tailored to your taste and needs. We made the lemon pepper chicken with cilantro lime rice. It was nutrish. It was just good. Take advantage of this exclusive offer for a limited time. Get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/tripod and use code tripod. That's hungryroot.com/tripod, code tripod, to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/tripod, code tripod. This is an ad by BetterHelp. We don't talk enough about mental health, specifically amongst men. There are 6 million men in the U.S. who suffer from depression every year, and it's often undiagnosed. And it's okay to struggle. Real strength comes from opening up about what you're carrying, doing something about it so you can be your best self for everyone in your life. If you're a guy, you might be feeling the weight of the world. Talk to someone, anyone, a friend, a loved one, a therapist. I do therapy every week. I find it a really invaluable time to process just what's going on in my life. Some weeks I don't even know that I need a session. Those are the ones that tend to be the most helpful. With over 35,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. And it is incredibly convenient. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/tripod. That's betterhelp.com/tripod.
Okay, so here's a question from the Discord. Honestly, I think the DUI series is so iconic. I legit used to show it to my little brothers constantly while they were getting their permits. How the hell did you guys manage to pull that off? Pretty much everything they do in that video is illegal, yet somehow they have permission for it. How did they go about making that whole thing happen?
Okay, this is fascinating. So when we were putting this series together, it was really important to us to make a piece of education that was fun, but still education.
Yeah.
And that series has been shown in high school health classes, which is really cool, right?
So you went into it with education at the forefront.
100%.
A few things from education, entertainment, but also we were just starting our own company and we wanted to show it wasn't because we were under BuzzFeed that allowed us to make amazing stuff.
Oh.
We
Could make
amazing
these
stuff.
Yeah.
So we wanted to be look, we can make a big scale thing
Oh, I see.
by ourselves as an independent company that's educational, entertaining, cool, shot cinematically, has and is a cohesive little series.
Yeah.
So like that was like one of our mission statements that year is like we need to prove our merit.
Yeah.
That it wasn't a corporation that was making good stuff. It was us.
So here's something really fascinating that we learned when we were doing that is that drunk driving is illegal. Did you know that?
Yeah. I remember that.
It's not illegal on the roads. It's just illegal.
Like you can't do it on your own farm.
So that was like, we were at first trying to find private property of like, let's find some dudes, farm. But no, if you drive drunk and ride your tractor, you can still get a DUI. It doesn't matter where you are. So we, ACAB, but we did go through the LAPD and I believe a retired
sheriff, maybe
detective,
somebody.
And we talked to him and be like, we want to do this. How do we do it legally? And the answer was, you can't.
It is impossible to drunk drive legally.
There is no legal way to do what we did.
So the video is a crime.
We filmed a crime. And what was just basically the like wink wink was like, we're not going to come after you.
Like they're on a closed course. So like there's like all safety precautions have been taken, but there is no legal way to do it.
And he was there.
He was there.
He was retired.
Yeah.
But I think that he maybe like had reached out to the department or something
to let them know that this was happening, and they knew it was happening and it was happening, but we had medics there and we had all these precautions we'd put up in place, and that this was a piece of educational content. That's why we were doing it. We weren't doing it to harm people, but rather the hope of creating entertainment that saves people.
Yeah.
Wow. During a try, have the guys ever drank or got high and had them and panicked? Like, what the fuck are these cameras? Because they got too drunk or too high?
Oh, well, okay. So when we did the stoned portion specifically, we had a really wide angle lens, like a fisheye lens, which if you don't know how cameras work, the wider angle of lens to get a close up, the closer a camera is. So like if you can see, like, imagine a fist right in front of your nose. I got high and we were eating snacks, and then they put a camera right in my face, like just
so close.
and then I remember Rachel off camera being like, just act normal, and I am crying, laughing, like, what do you mean act normal? There's a thing in my face.
It was so close.
It was impossible.
The only thing that when I got high to eat Jack in the Box Munchies menu, it made me incredibly insecure. I got so high I started having a panic attack.
That's right.
I thought I was going to die because I had eaten so much garbage, and then I was sort of having a panic attack. So then I'm like, what if I died? What if I died right now?
That's
what kind of example am I setting for our staff? I got high in the middle of the day to eat fast food, and that's what we're making. And I'm like, I thought, and then you can watch that back. I'm green. Like I actually look like I'm dying. But that was the only time that I have personally been like, oh, I'm too fucked up. And I was too high. And also, and I felt bad. I also had eaten a bunch of garbage, so I felt bad. I felt sick already, and then I thought that weed would help, and it harmed.
It harmed.
It harmed.
Did you guys ever like sort of lean into like act more drunk than you really were for the cameras?
Okay, this is good. I want to also in a second. I want it because you were on that set, Miles. I want to hear about your perspective of it. But so we did the drunk driving and the stone driving, and we went into this series with a very clear eye towards the story we were trying to tell. Drunk driving is bad. Stone driving is bad. Any inebriated driving is bad. I would say stone driving is a little more, I don't want to say common because drunk driving is obviously more common, but I think that a lot of people think that stone driving, like they're like, I know how to do it.
Yeah.
I can get a little high and drive. And so Keith and I both nailed the course. Perfect run. We got high and it was a absolute perfect run. And we finished and like we were like, well, that's not good.
That's not the moral.
That's
you
not.
can't make a video that's saying that you nailed it.
So we then both ran it back and had to manufacture fails. And I have thought about that time to time. I have mixed feelings about that. I think that I, as a video maker, I think overemphasize in my mind like the arc and needing a story, and we start here and we end here and whatever, as opposed to sometimes just trusting that truth and reality is okay,
Yeah.
even if it's not the most sensational.
Mhm.
Well, it's kind of an interesting arc too.
Yeah,
It's just the moral of it all.
But an interesting thing that
it felt
maybe
irresponsible.
yeah.
couldn't have been a takeaway is that like while we did a good run, I remember that there was a part of this course where you had to back up around a curve.
Mhm.
And when I was doing it, it was freaking me out. Now, I did it, but I was incredibly uncomfortable and scared when I was doing it. And in my brain, I was like, this is not safe. I don't feel safe. I don't like this. So it made me paranoid.
Yeah.
So while I technically did not have an accident, I would say that I was still a danger.
Mhm.
If that road had other drivers on it, I was a danger to other people in that moment because I started to panic.
I mean, this is so many years ago now, but I do feel like you had like a better, like your driving footage was better.
Yeah.
like it was like he did it faster, better time, had a better parking job.
Oh my God.
So like his interior life was not reflecting the footage.
It was my mental state was altered in a way that I was over adjusting in my brain.
Were you filming, Miles? What was that?
No,
like?
that was one of the few that I didn't film, and it was only because we hired outside
Right.
crew.
Right, we had like a drone.
We had like a drone, and we had 3 ops, and it was but it was I think Daryl shot that, but we wanted it to feel like you said, like a higher yield, a higher production value thing. So there was a lot of outside crew. So I got to ride around in a golf cart, which was sick.
So fun.
And then I think I did some filming at different points, but I kind of was a PA on that set because it was also very early on in the company.
Early, yeah.
So I was shooting all the videos at the office.
We shot it in July.
Yeah, we shot it in July. Oh my God. So I would have been at the company for only 2 months.
Yeah.
You know,
wow.
something like that. Because I think I started in May.
Yeah.
But it was, I think, also a cool thing to have us do because prior to that, we'd been shooting a lot at the office, and it was like sort of a lot more pared down. So to be like, oh, we're capable of making like a giant series, and it was huge too. It did well.
Yeah, no, yeah,
the
really
whole thing
good
did well.
videos.
I actually remember. I don't know if you guys want to talk about this. You can cut it. But do you want to talk about the texting thing?
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
And this will sort of actually relate to another story I'll tell at the end of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
But that was the first time that I had to like issue an apology on a video. We went in with like a very clear mind of like, this is the story we're trying to tell. And in my mind going into it, I'm like, everyone fucking texts and drives. There's not a single person that I know who doesn't check their phone while they're driving. It's really bad. This is a big problem. So I'll be the one that talks about how much I text and drive, and then I'll have some big accident at the end and show how bad that is. And I remember we were watching the edit, and we were working with Devlin on it, and we were like, let's make it seem bigger. And so we went out one day and got B-roll of just like, I think Keith was driving and I took my phone out and we showed footage of just like driving out in the car. And now you intercut that with me talking about texting and driving, and the juxtaposition of those two looks like, okay, this is footage of Zach ripping around LA on his phone. How reckless. I can't believe him. And so when that video came out, people were real pissed off.
Yeah.
Because we sort of intentionally made me seem like I was this crazy texting driver ripping around, whatever. And that was like, oh, the language of how you edit things creates reality. And that's something it just like totally blind spotted all of us. But that was something where like, oh, I cared more about the story and the message that was going to come out of this. But then as a result, I now made my character someone that people were like, I can't believe you were this irresponsible.
Yeah. Yeah, because it
didn't feel good.
Yeah. And did you guys feel like, so it's illegal everywhere because it's dangerous? Like even if you're doing it in a controlled,
you're
contained spot.
endangering yourself.
Yeah. So did you guys feel, like you mentioned you felt unsafe?
We didn't get, blackout drunk.
Right.
Yeah, you were not blacked out.
We were just.
I would say there was one person driving who was reckless.
I would agree,
Yes.
and I think that was something I wanted to
And it
bring
was
up.
scary.
Yeah, there was one person.
It was like, oh, you're being like.
It also was my car.
I remember that.
And I was
remember
like,
this.
it's still my actual car.
And it was all cones, so it was all cones, and then even the camera ops were on long lenses, pretty far away from where the car was.
But we were
going.
in the cars.
And you guys were in the car, and that was
That was not a good feeling.
No, I remember that.
Didn't like that.
like overall, like, because I remember my takeaway from drunk driving is that I actually in the moment was like, what you feel is like, I could do this. But we were on a closed course where we were like at most supposed to be going 20-ish miles
20
an
to
hour.
35. There were little straightaways where you could kind of get up to 35 to 40, but
there were
it would
so
be for
many
3 seconds.
Yeah, so many turns that you could never actually get speed. So now you multiply your delayed reaction time. Like if you were on a freeway, 70 miles per hour. The difference between going 50 miles per hour and 70, 60 miles per hour, it's huge.
Yeah.
And so that was my real takeaway of like, oh, this actually instills you with confidence. And that confidence is terrifying.
Yeah.
Because I should not be confident.
Yeah.
And it was so fucking hot. I just remember that.
July.
It was
And we were on a
July, and we
speedway.
were on a speedway
In the valley.
In the valley.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It was boiling hot. But the real cute thing that happened behind the scenes that day was that it was the day that when we were shooting the second day, our video that explained that we were an independent company, that we like very clearly were like, hey, we're not under BuzzFeed anymore, came out. And a lot of people just thought, because BuzzFeed had multiple channels,
You're
like
right.
other sub shows in BuzzFeed had their own channels, but we never did.
And a lot of people were just getting fed our videos, not even realizing it was on a different channel.
So when we made the channel, at first people thought BuzzFeed had made it. They didn't realize we were independent, even though the very beginning first video was like, we're independent. So we made one that was more like, I think it was the why we left BuzzFeed video. And it was more like about how we were trying to do something independent. And we got like 1 million subscribers that day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
And
while
it was
we were
like, the
filming that
growth was
video,
crazy.
We were refreshing our phones like, this is insane.
so we were litty as hell.
It was so thrilling. It was so much adrenaline and so like fun. And also because we were like, and we're making this cool thing that people don't even know is coming out yet. This is awesome.
Yeah,
it was
a
like,
good
it
moment.
was a great moment.
We got stoned, then chugged caffeine
Energy drinks, yeah.
over lunch. I think we like maybe took a little nap first, but basically like came down.
Yeah.
Then got wasted.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that also because we knew that we wanted drunk driving to be demonized more than stone driving. So it was like, if I'm a little stoned still, sure.
Right.
Then we stayed up all night
Oh.
Yeah, so
To do sleep deprived.
to do
driving.
sleep deprived the next day. Then we took a nap.
What'd you guys do when you stayed up?
Fucking video games, parties.
But also you, and iconically, and I think this was intentional, went live for 1 second. Was that intent? That was on purpose. I get served that video on YouTube sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
It's Keith went live for, I don't even know, a couple minutes. The phone was just up and you could just
we
hear
pretended,
everyone.
that it was like,
we accidentally went live.
Yeah, so funny.
So silly.
and then we were sleep deprived, and then maybe during lunch we like napped for an hour, and then we did texting and driving again because we wanted that one. We're like, well, this is the most common one, so let's have our least wits about us so that we make mistakes. Little lie guys there, you know. I
Lie
guys.
a little
I have
bit.
to drive my Apple. Something I said after the sleep deprived in the morning after we didn't sleep. We did sleep for like an hour and a half. And I woke up. Did you come to get us? Someone like came
We got
to
an
wake us
Uber.
up and take us. I feel like,
Uber.
and I just remember that
Yeah.
I was trying to say I have to drive my car, but for some reason I
to
said I
drive my
have to drive my Apple.
Drive my Apple.
I have to drive
So you
my
were also
Apple.
hungover though. That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their beef.
Oh yeah.
I have to take an important phone call, but I'll be right back.
Yes.
Okay.
For the podcast audience, that's so ominous.
I know.
Yeah, truly.
Miles left to take a phone call. He'll be back.
Okay. Any more tea on the DUI series before we go to the next one?
No,
Anyone
I think
BGS?
we covered plenty of tea.
Yeah, that's all I can think. I do remember how fun it was to be drunk and high and riding in that golf cart.
Yeah.
The golf cart
It
specifically.
was, it just
Were
the
you riding
wind-
in it or driving it?
Riding in it.
Yeah.
The wind whipping. And there was one point where it was like, it was empty and I think I did drive it or we were going to drive it. And Rachel's like, you can't drive it. You guys are under the influence. I'm like, Rachel, what are we making here? It'll be fine. And I think she's like, Keith can drive. I was like, thank you. I drove us very slowly in it, but it was more fun
So
when someone else is
funny.
driving us because then you're
Yeah.
like the wind whipping.
And you're
past
getting
you.
1 million subscribers.
Yeah, like it was just this feeling of like I'm on top of the world, baby. And it was fun.
Golf carts are so fun.
They're
I gotta
so
get
fun,
in one.
and they feel like you're flying when you're not
Yeah.
actually going that fast.
Yeah.
They feel like you're flying.
Okay, so going to the Kim Kardashian photo shoot.
Mm-hmm. Butt photo.
Butt photo. I have a few things I want to talk about with this, but starting off with just what do you remember about that shoot?
Oh well, it was something that we made was like probably one of the first times we're like, we have to make this, even if we have to go against the odds. And I'm sure we've talked about this before, but the paper magazine thing came out. I saw it. We had already done a couple of the Try Guys videos, but we had done the underwear and the Halloween costume, and we had shot something else.
We had released 2, but shot 3.
Yeah, and we're like, this is we have to do this.
And by the way, I want to give credit where credit's due. Keith said this. Keith was the one that was really pushing like, this has to happen.
We got to do this. And I went to the productions people, and I was like, hey, I need a camera and a space and some sound equipment. We have to shoot this right now. It's like everything is booked for today. And I was like, this has to be shot today. It's got to come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or else we'll be too late. Someone else will get there first.
And they were like, it's booked up. And I was like, what about after work? What about after 6? She's like, well, yeah, there's equipment then. I was like, can I have it? She's like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
We can't give you any interns. I'm like, we'll figure it out. And luckily, the 2 guys who would go on to make basically Tasty, Adam and Andrew, stayed to help us shoot it. I don't really know why.
I don't know why either.
I think
the 3 of you, me and Eugene, and we kind of all were like taking turns.
And so we were like, yeah, we're going to do this. And we got the equipment. We set up. I think, you know what? I wanted Adam to light it because it had a very specific, photo. We were going to be taking photos.
Yeah.
To do the thing, we had to take photos, and he could take photos well, and they could light well. I was like, I trust them to do a good job because they're very smart and they're very methodical. Is that the door opening, or is it just the wind? So we got in, we had to shoot. And because it had champagne, I was like, well, let's drink champagne. The photo shoot is champagne, and champagne's pouring onto her butt. Yeah. And she's all oiled up. So
I just saw me trying to climb underneath the camera undetected, and it was so much more obvious than if I had just walked normal.
Yep. So yeah, we oiled each other up, and we shot it over, those few hours, and it was really funny and fun.
You stayed till like 2 a.m. editing?
So I stayed there to edit overnight, and I stayed until 2 or 3. I stayed there. I didn't go home.
Yeah. I think I stayed till like 10 to 12-ish, helping edit a little bit, but then it was like, Keith said I got it.
I edited till...
You were fast.
Yeah, I was very fast. I was fast and rough. Yeah. But I was very, very fast at assembling and putting the pieces in the right order, but not smoothing them out. So I built it until like 3, and then I fell asleep, and then Eugene came in early. Like 6. And he picked up from there.
Oh my God.
And I think he built out the post.
Yes. And he built out, and then when at 9, you got there.
Yeah.
And you took a pass on it while he did the post, because the post required the photos, because we were doing the slider tool. So we had the slider tool on BuzzFeed where you could have a photo and have a second photo, and you would slide your cursor left and right. And we wanted to show this is us, and this is after we do Photoshop on our butts.
Yeah.
So we had to do Photoshop on our butts to make them bigger. Because that's what had been happening. That was the paper magazine, and put the paper magazine like logo on it. So we were making our own photo shoot. So it took all of us doing that. And at that time, we were about to make the BuzzFeed.com post, and Eugene and I were like, maybe we should try to give it a name.
Yeah.
And we went with The Try Guys, because it had been Guys Try.
Oh, wow. That was the video.
There was a big discussion over, is it Try Guys or The Try Guys? And we were like, I think it's The Try Guys.
Yeah.
And then we put it on the BuzzFeed post, but not the YouTube title at that time. We might have gone back and changed it, but at that time it was the BuzzFeed post said, the Try Guys recreate Kim Kardashian's butt photo. And we also had a discussion of like, we have to actually put our bare asses on the internet.
Yeah.
Because that is the experience that Kim is doing.
Three of us did.
3 of us did.
I'm so shady this episode. I'm so sorry.
But that's the truth. 3 of us did.
3 of us did.
And, you don't have to do something you're uncomfortable with, but that we felt that was the try.
Right.
Is putting your butt on the internet. The actual recreation of the photo is not the try. It's the public exposure, the braveness, but also the letting your body be critiqued the way that people are going to critique women's bodies all the time. Like that is the actual try of that video.
Right.
Granted, we get to hide behind it being comedy, not being
correct. Yes.
Right.
But like we put them out, and Becky wasn't thrilled.
Really?
No, because and I get it, but I felt that this was the important artistic choice, and that's really just on me. I should have been more like upfront that I was doing that. I just sort of like didn't tell her, which was not the right way to do it. But I also I knew that she would say no. And I was like, but I felt artistically it was very important to do it. So I did it. But it was a tremendous success.
Yeah.
And it cemented us as the Try Guys. And that also, our post got more hits on BuzzFeed.com than the original Kim Kardashian post that BuzzFeed had posted, which BuzzFeed had been the one that sort of blew it up.
Oh, wow.
And we were right because BuzzFeed New York's team did a photo shoot, but they did the other one where they were trying to catch the champagne on their butt. So they did the less intense one. So we also felt that it was sort of always this LA versus New York BuzzFeed vibe.
Yeah.
And we felt like,
we won.
Trashed them.
Yeah.
Because they also they wrote the story over there. So they knew the information before us. Because they're up earlier. They're publishing the Kim K photo or the Paper Magazine photo. So we felt like a real victory.
Yeah.
And it exploded in virality.
Yeah. And it was like we felt at that moment, we can show that the internet can do things that late night can't do, that SNL can't do. Like we can mobilize on things faster. I think that's something that we've lost. Like as a company, we don't really make viral videos anymore, nor do we try to in that way. But there was something really special. And we had a chip on our shoulder and felt like we can prove that our nimbleness is an asset.
Yeah.
And that we can move fast and that's a superpower.
Yeah.
We basically, from shooting it to getting online in under 18 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Because we started shooting at 6, maybe probably 7, and it went up by noon.
Oh my gosh. I'm struck by the relay race of like you handing it off and having sort of people do what they're good at to make a polished video.
That was that was a real superpower of us, is that we did have different strengths and you could hand things off. Like I almost always would do a rough cut of something quick and then hand it off to somebody to make it better. Yeah. And I'd go into the next rough edit. And then Eugene was great at posts of BuzzFeed.com. He was great at making it dressed up and how it would perform better on BuzzFeed.com, which would get the YouTube link more hits.
Right.
And then Zach and I would tell this all the time, but we would sit next to each other with one AirPod in each ear, and we'd be like, could that be like half a second shorter? What if this was like right there? And we would do a million passes on it and be like, yeah, okay, it's good. And then be like, it's 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Like, how do we get this to 2 minutes and 2 seconds? And then be like, how do we get this to under 2? Like, how do we get this to 150?
Well, that's what another thing that I noticed was the video was super short.
Yeah.
And also it's like one person says one quick line, then the next person says one quick line. And they weren't even necessarily directly related. You weren't in conversation. It was like, this is how I feel. This is how I feel. And it's so different from now.
Such a different era of video, yeah.
It's actually more like a TikTok than
literally
what we make now.
Yeah. And would you ever think about doing that kind of video again? Of like turning it around in less than a day, something super current,
it's short. It's harder with the runtime of what YouTube and our channel wants. Like the shortest thing we can make is going to be 8 minutes. And even then, it's not good because if you got 100% viewership, 100% runtime, people are watching 8 minutes, where if they watch 30% of Beneath the Menu, they're watching 20 minutes. And YouTube's algorithm doesn't understand the difference in videos. So it's going to say that 8 minute video that is getting 100% completion is a failure.
It's less valuable. The goal is to maximize average view duration, right? Yeah. So your channel judges you against yourself. So I mean, we have that problem even with the difference between Eat the Menu and insert try here that's a 20-minute video. Or it's uphill battle.
The other thing that I noticed about both of these videos is there's kind of silly, but there's actually a lot of serious with both of them. And like the body image and like having your body on display is interesting because you weren't able to talk about that because it hadn't happened yet. You were just
I couldn't talk about how it was on the internet.
How it was received. Right,
yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, that was like just an actual thing we experienced. But it's like we were like, we have to put our butts on the internet. Yeah. If we don't put our butts on the internet, we didn't do it. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. We don't actually include that in the video.
And how was that part, the posting and the you talked about Becky, but like did you get comments that were like?
And some people were like, hell yeah. Like definitely people at work were like, you guys are fucking awesome. Because we talking
about the butt photo.
Yeah, because we put our butts on the internet.
It's brazen.
We put our naked butts on the internet, and that post got like 4 million views in a day. So like at that point, because I'd always of my own said like, okay, so Will Ferrell, was a big comedy icon for me growing up, and he has been naked to some degrees in films. So I always thought, like, there's a reality as a comedian where at some point nudity's kind of funny, and you're gonna do it to some degree. At least you're gonna put your butt out
now.
And like,
would
I was
you
like,
show your peen?
Yeah.
it depends.
Great question. And thank you, Miles, for the question.
Well, that's the follow-up. They always say follow up if you're a reporter.
I was so Maggie watched Forgetting Sarah Marshall on the plane. They did crop in and not show
The peener.
his peener,
On the plane.
which was a bummer for all of us. But that's a scenario where it's like he showed peen for the greater good.
Yeah.
Yeah, his peen. I mean, his penis is huge.
It's
too.
also he gets to like unfortunately
Jason Segel is a great.
Jason Segel's got a big old dong, and so it gets to be hilarious,
for
and then
sure.
also
it's for sure his and not a prop penis.
Oh, it's definitely his, and it's like both very funny, and then also it's like, damn.
But I think he was
Segel
probably
be
like,
back
yeah,
in.
I'll show my penis.
Yeah, it's time
Sure,
people
for
know.
comedy.
It's time people know.
Piece. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, if I had Jason Segel's penis, I definitely would show it.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
awesome.
It depends. It depends. It depends.
I don't think I would show peen.
If I'm
But
still
if it's that's what I mean, though. If it's a perfect joke, like the Forgetting Sarah Marshall moment is a perfect joke.
Is there a perfect joke that requires me to show penis?
That joke did.
Yes, it did.
You don't have it yet.
He's
I'm not
so
saying you
sad.
have it.
Have you seen Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
No.
Oh,
The
right.
bit is he's taking a shower and he comes out and Kristen Bell breaks up with him and he drops his towel and goes, "Oh my God." And
Well,
he's naked, standing there, completely butt naked, and she's breaking up with him. And she goes, "Please put some clothes on. Please put some clothes on."
First, he opens his towel and wiggles it, which is
Because he's
so
like,
funny.
it's his girlfriend. He's like, "I've got a surprise for you." And then he's naked, standing there, and it's so embarrassing and it's so devastating.
absolutely mortifying.
Yeah,
Great movie, you'll love.
it's a fun movie. Yeah, I don't know. I'll show my butt.
If I'm a hilarious comedian at 80 and there's a time where an old man penis could be the perfect point and joke, maybe.
Guess now I'm like, my kids would see me like in a movie being nude. I don't know, but I want that. It could be kind of funny.
I'm trying to picture it. Yeah, like if my dad did it, though, I'd kind of be like,
Yeah, that's rough.
It's my life, not theirs.
Whoa, Keith laying down the gauntlet.
And honestly, I think that the Kim K shoot, though, that's such a bit. But if it was more of like
Yeah, it was a bit.
Yeah.
But it's still, I feel like it was scary to do it, but it was cool.
Yeah.
I'm proud of it still. I think it was the correct approach to that particular piece of art that we were making. And people were like, dang, you guys actually put your butts out there.
yeah.
This is
Well-
a pretty challenging pivot from talking about would we show our dicks, but just because where we're at the episode.
Hey, let's get real.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about something that happened. This is old at this point that you're listening to it, but it's been on my mind. So a few weeks back, I deleted a video from our channel and I haven't had a chance to talk about it. So I want to talk about it, tell you why. And I'll try and make this as quick as possible. Unlike the documentary put out, Keith and I did talk about this one before I deleted it.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big point of contention last time.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I think you guys should get on more fights on the internet. I think that would be good for
I
engagement.
thought, honestly, though, when I saw the doc, I was like, this is good this happened for the doc.
Oh, we needed something.
We needed something.
You
It needs
needed
drama.
because then it's like, oh, there's a big conflict in it.
Yeah.
It's like, this is good for the doc.
And honestly, at the same time, because we had talked about how like there's going to be a moment with this conflict, and you're going to want to not film it, but you need to film it.
Gotta
because-
film it.
So even like as it was happening,
You're like,
your producer brain is like,
you're like, this is gonna cut well.
something. We got something.
Oh,
We got some
that's
drama.
so
It's not just
funny.
us having fun, waving to our fans, but there's a conflict.
That's so good.
All right, so let's talk about this video. I just to give some context too, I've had a bad couple weeks. So when this went down, I had COVID. That obviously sucks. I found out my grandmother was going to pass while I had COVID. That sucked. I didn't get to go see her in person. I did get to say goodbye, but obviously very hard 2-week stretch that put me in a place where I wasn't really able to deal with this as it was happening. So that's sort of just a little context for why I'm talking about it now, not when it happened. So what the fuck am I talking about? The short version of the story is that I put out a video about hair loss that people really fucking hated. It was a pretty sloppily made video. We had actually I had talked about like, hey, maybe we don't release this one. And then as it was, I thought about re-editing it, and then kind of all this stuff happened in my life, and we're like, it's fine. Sure, just put it out. If it's not our best video ever, that's okay. It's still silly. There was a product in the video that I want to talk about. And there's some misunderstandings about what that was. So, and by the way, those misunderstandings are also my fault. So the context here is years ago, I made videos about my hair loss, getting hair restoration. Those videos did really well. I'm very proud of them. Like still to this day, people will come up and talk to me and say that those videos helped them either acknowledge their own hair loss or start taking action, take preventative action, save their hair. And that's super fucking cool. You were telling me that like you've started taking.
Oh yeah, I take finasteride every day.
Yeah,
from Hims or whatever. Not to spawn, but maybe they are.
Yeah. So that means a lot to me, and I had been keeping in touch with my doctor, thinking about like how do we do more of this? This helped people, and also the videos did really well. So we kicked some ideas around about a follow up. I didn't want to make the same video again. And he told me that they were doing a new procedure that they were calling cryostim. So there's a cryotherapy element. There's also like hair care. And then there's a PRP injection. PRP is platelet-rich plasma. You take part of your blood, you spin it around, you re-inject it. It's you can look it up. It's used in different parts of medicine, but is helpful for hair growth. And the whole thing felt like this is fun. This is wacky. This is like a good hooky in to talk about this stuff again. The video itself, because the PRP section is so not visual and short, it's like the end of the video. The video's like 40% spa treatment, 40% ad, which is not fun or good, and then like 5% science. So that, I think, one of my like kind of golden rules is don't underestimate the intelligence of the audience. And I think this video did. I thought that this would be boring, and I didn't like how I had filmed that stuff, so we took it out, and that's like mistake number one, right? Like don't do something that is science and then don't talk about what it is. I want to, so okay, and then I got to pause the story and kind of talk about hair loss overall. So when you're losing your hair, you can do procedures, right? You can do hair restoration like I did. You can do PRP, whatever. Frankly, my opinion and my goal would be to encourage people to not have to get any of those. They're expensive. They're timely. I want to advocate for taking preventative measures. Like how do you save your hair while you still have it? And by the way, something that this video also didn't capture is that it's like you can also not save your hair, and that's totally fine. And tons of hot bald dudes out there, and that's also a totally valid choice. Breaking Bad and Fast and Furious, two of my favorite things in the world. Just a bunch of hot bald dudes.
That's right.
Goddamn right. So the best thing to do is to take preventative measures. There are three like main options there. There's minoxidil, which is the generic form of Rogaine. That is a topical cream. They also have oral minoxidil, but like you rub it in your hair. That's usually where most dudes start because it's pretty non-invasive. Above that, there's finasteride. That's what I've been on for years. You've been on it. That is Propecia. That's traditionally, now there's Hims and Keeps and blends, which is what I'm going to talk about in a second. That is far more effective. And even if you get hair restoration surgery, you have to go on finasteride or else you will lose your hair again. And then now there's something, it's a little newer. It's called dutasteride, which is even more effective than finasteride. It's even stronger. I am not a doctor, so I can only tell you what I know about it. But like, it's more expensive, but it is like the most, as I understand it, the most effective of them. Beyond that, that's really all you can do to save hair that you are losing. Hair loss is through a miniaturization process. So hair follicles get thinner. Once they're gone, and you have to do something like hair restoration to bring it back. When you have really thin hairs, you can take stuff like this to bulk it up. There also are like vitamins and biotin is something that people will take for like strong hair and fingernails. That won't bring hair back. You know, that like biotin and folate, and there are a million other ones out there that can give you healthy hair. I don't know how effective they are clinically, but like those are things that we put in shampoo to fortify your hair, etc. But if you're losing your hair, minoxidil, finasteride, dutasteride, that is really the stuff that you can do. So actually, I had a version of this speech in the video, and I didn't like it. And I was like, I filmed it bad. It's too fucking in the weeds. Who gives a shit? Let's take it out. And I filmed another version of it that went in the video that I think ended up feeling like sort of, I meant it to be like irreverent and fun and silly. I think it came off very like smarmy salesy, which obviously is not the intention. Again, trust the audience's intelligence. I thought that this information would be boring, and that was a big whoops. So my doctor at Barber Surgeons Guild, they had been working on a project called Blends for a couple years, and I've actually been on it for about a year. They said, okay, oral minoxidil, finasteride, dutasteride, any of these vitamins that are good for you. Plus, there's like a difference between what guys need and what girls need, and then like, can we create personalized blends that sort of modulate all these and put it into one pill? And I was like, that's sick as fuck.
Yeah.
Because I was taking just generic finasteride. A lot of people I know take things like Hims. Like, can we modulate pharmaceuticals and give you the best one? And so he told me about this, and I was like, yeah, I think that the people that have followed my journey would love this. This has helped me. I've been using it for a year. Like, let's tell people about it. So I made this video, and then in it had an ad for it. And I did a really, really, really bad job of talking about what it was. I stripped out basically all of the information. And so the result made it seem like it was akin to gummy vitamins. And I saw people saying that stuff like, this is snake oil. The only stuff that can save hair is finasteride. And I'm like, oh God, what have I done? Because this is finasteride.
Oh, it's like a pharmaceutical plus a vitamin plus a, like.
Yeah, I mean, go if you're interested in what it is, you can go to their website and see it all spelled out. But the main of what it is it's finasteride, oral minoxidil, and dutasteride all in one, plus other vitamins that are good for hair strength. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a cool product and it's worked really well for me. I think I made a couple big oopsies here, right? One is that the whole video just felt like an ad, which feels really bad. And it's like a short video. There's like not a lot of meat on the bone. And then when you get to the ad in the middle of it, you're like, oh, this whole fucking thing is just to sell to me, which 99% of our audience is not the target for this product. So like, and I've even talked about in the past, like, I don't want to push products through our videos. I want to make episodes. Like, the whole thing sort of went against even my own mission statements. Mm-hmm. The comment section was pretty unanimous of like, hey, we don't like this. And so I decided to take it down because I was feverish. I was dealing with my family. I just wasn't in a headspace to deal with it. But also it felt like, okay, this is clearly, it's not achieving like anything for him. I was trying to do a solid to this dude, which by the way, like, I love them and they've helped me so much. Like, I didn't get paid to do this. I just thought it was like cool and it would help people. I made a joke about how, because their URL has try in the name, that it's like, it's our company. It's not my company. It's not my company. It's his product, right?
Oh yeah. I heard people be like,
I was confused about that. I thought that you were somehow partnering with them.
We didn't do a branded deal to right. The way that like when we worked with fucking Burger King on something like that, that's a brand deal. Mm-hmm. This is, I'm working with a friend on something and it's like a handshake agreement.
Right.
Yeah.
They're giving you the service, their time, they're being talent in the video, they're helping provide a service.
Your marketing.
That lowers our production costs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then they get their company and product incorporated into a video that is a try. Basically, it's a try, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're try guys. It's a try that you were trying as a way to create a narrative that also, gives their company a shout out.
Genuinely and naively, I thought that people who didn't care would skip over it because that's how I watch it. I just skip ads. Mm-hmm. And that people who cared would be like, this is sick. Let me learn more. But I also just think that clearly from people's reaction to it, I fully misrepresented what the thing was. I tried to make it fun and just like, hey, if you want to save your hair, look into this thing. And clearly people got the exact opposite out of it. So that was a huge fucking bummer. And so like that also a huge lesson to me here is like, I clearly right now I'm biting off more than I can chew. I shouldn't release things that I'm going in half-assed. Like I'm focusing right now on building out Second Try, and I shouldn't put something out that I have not put my full heart, focused brain into. It's not fair to the product. It's not fair to the audience. It doesn't feel good to get sold.
It's also challenging though in the YouTube machine. If we don't put things out on a normal cadence, we don't get revenue back. We can't afford to make things. We have a staff and expenses. So like we can't, sometimes like you have to put something out.
Mhm.
Because if you don't, that could be the difference in bringing in enough money to cover payroll during that month.
Yeah. So me like being like, oh, I'm sick. I can't finish this video and make it better. Can we not release it? Oh, that will have ramifications that affects other people.
Yep.
So that was like a little bit of the trolley problem that I was going through in my mind. And I clearly chose the wrong option, or just executed poorly overall.
For you, what is like, what is the exciting version of the video you should have made? And then I guess I'm also curious about like, what were people's complaints of the thing directly that you can respond to?
Yeah, what's interesting is that we did make a video. So Matt McClain got hair restoration, and we made an episode on that. And I think it's really good and a lot more interesting and a lot more in depth and sort of does what I did years ago again. But, you know, hearing someone else's story. And now I'm like, I don't know if we should put that out because I don't want to stir this up again. But it's a really good video. So maybe I don't know what we're going to do. And maybe we will put it out. And maybe people will get upset again. I don't know. I mean, I think that I went into that video thinking that it would be a cool way to talk about all this stuff. And frankly, like inspire people who wanted to take action on their hair loss. But I don't think I put the right ingredients into it that the first videos had, right? It didn't have the emotion like of why this mattered to me. It was absent of science, like I talked about, like how this works. The video was short. The procedure was sort of slight. Like I went into it thinking that it would be more visually fun and dynamic and exciting. And instead it left people feeling like, oh, you're selling something that's bogus. And then by the time you get to the ad where I don't really do a good job of explaining what it is, now it feels double bogus. All this too, like I didn't want this to be a distraction to the cool stuff we're making. And I am aware that now I'm like there are probably some of you listening who did not watch this video, don't care. Now you do know about this thing that I fucked up. So, but it has been like in the back of my mind of like, I just don't want this to fester. I don't know if this will change anyone's mind. I don't know if it will affect anyone's opinion of what I did. And I'm also not saying like, hey, I'm blameless. I'm not. I did it wrong. But I just sort of needed to clear my head about it because I don't want it nagging at me. I'm just going to try and take this on the chin and learn from it and be better as we go forward. Again, like with the Matt video that we have, maybe we'll release that and obviously take a look and make sure it is good to go. But yeah, my bad. I know a lot of what we do here. Like obviously you like the videos that we make in the shows and you like to laugh with us, but there's also this like, I can trust these guys. And this is a moment where I betrayed that trust. That doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good for me. Obviously it doesn't feel good for you as an audience. I also don't like to, I don't want to have to apologize for anything that we do. It's, you shouldn't have to feel that way. I shouldn't have to feel that way. So, all I can say is that I'm going to try and learn from it and, not do it again.
Hell yeah, King.
Nice. Well, are we ready to go to the next segment?
Also the AC is broken.
It could not be more hot in here.
It's getting uninhabitable. So I am going to need some advice.
It's going to be long. The advice will be 40 minutes, and that's just the beginning.
Wow. Just the song.
It's advice that'll go for miles. Tune it to your radio station. It's advice that'll go for miles. Everyone get ready. Miles Nation. Miles Nation, go. It's advice that'll go for miles. Advice that'll go for miles.
What's up, Miles Nation? How's everybody doing tonight?
Woo! All right.
Ringing, ging, ringing, bing, ringing, lodion.
Hey.
Have you ever wanted to wash your dishes with the power of your hands?
No, I like dishwasher.
Boo! Boo! Dishwashers are actually bad for the environment.
No, I heard that.
So is everything.
I don't know.
So is everything.
I don't think it is. But
I don't know.
But if they were, and you're sort of like, where's my sponge? Boy, do I have a solution for you.
Okay.
Have you ever thought, that the hands are the most important tool we could have. It separates us from the monkeys and the snakes and the frogs.
Literally the only animal it doesn't separate us from is monkey.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay, but keep on. We're rolling. We're rocking.
Yes,
separates us from the gerbils and the crows.
There we go.
What if I told you had sponges right here? Put dish soap on your rough,
That's
calloused hands
crazy.
and wash a plate.
That not even with
Disgusting.
gloves.
No.
It's
Why would
not-
you have gloves on?
Not good for your
really
skin.
drying.
Good for your skin. You're such a baby.
I just the sensory of that. Like
I love
food
the
falling
feeling.
off.
I'm unfortunately with Miles on this one. I don't like Becky puts on gloves to wash dishes.
Who cares?
Not a chance.
What? I just moisturize after. What am I terrified about my palm? I'm a working man. You're a little dork with your computer.
Oh, so you moisturize after.
Yeah.
Yeah. What am I insane?
Or never. My
Or
hands,
never.
Somehow my
I
hands
mean,
are
feels my hand pretty
fine.
dry. Pretty
I don't
dry, pretty dry.
understand
Oh my
why.
God.
Pretty
like
dry.
people who use moisturizer, they're like offering me some. I'm like, no. They're like, really? Aren't your hands dry? I'm like, no, they're not. My hands are actually unbelievably healthy. I don't know why.
Bro,
Hands are fine, but it's also like, look,
okay.
like I have working man
Talk
hands.
to me
like,
in 40 years.
if
when
I had,
we're-
Yeah,
in 40 years, I'm going to be using power
I'm gonna
tools
be
to build a deck.
78. I'm gonna have other problems, Zach.
But it's also like
And we
I
won't be
am.
on speaking terms.
I'm not like Zach is somebody that's like, ooh, itchy, itchy, itchy. I'm underneath the house, crawling under the foundation, putting soap on my hands and washing a mug. What am I going to waste the sponge? The sponge smells like mildew anyway.
It is
Yeah.
sponge.
Yeah.
It's mildew is easy.
Go off, King.
So I'll kind of go soapy, and then I'll just kind of go because it's coffee cup. If it's like a plate that had lasagna in it, yeah, I'll use a sponge or a bristle.
That's what I was picturing.
If it's a
Yeah.
coffee cup, I'm just like
yeah,
it's
same.
old coffee, just
You
a
just gotta
teeny
get
bit,
there.
and I'm just going.
Whatever lip residue you left, just hit that little lip
I'm
spot.
hitting it with the soap, and then boom, and then
Yep.
hot water, and then bang.
Boom.
Right? I
I'm
don't
with you.
need to. If
Same
it's
with a knife.
Yeah,
A butter
knife.
knife. Get a little of that.
If I have a plate that had like crumbs on it, I don't need to get a sponge out. What am I insane?
Hey,
with
I'm on
you.
board.
I'll just get a little.
Same. And sometimes in those instances, I will just use a hand soap because if it's not that
You
dirty,
don't need dish soap. Yeah.
that's something I. There's a sink that sometimes I get sink only has a dish soap, and so like I need to wash my hands. I'll do the tiniest little dot of dish soap and think that's better.
Yeah.
Like what if I only do like the teensiest dot because it suds so much because dish
Yeah.
soap is so powerful. Like, is that better? Is it better for me to use less? Is that doing what I want it to do? I don't know.
Keith, his with the official tripod theme song.
Good night, baby. You gotta go to bed because you're a baby. It's too late for a baby to be sitting up on the couch. It's the tripod.
Have a good ass week.